Welcome to our program, Finding Community. We're going to tell the stories of some folks who have found a safe place to worship at Community United Church of Christ in Fresno. We don't preach at you, and we honor questions about your faith and about God, because no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are always welcome in our sacred space. Some of us are questioning our faith. Some of us are deeply rooted in our faith journey, and others still question. But we all come together on Sundays for the life-giving music and the thought-provoking sermons. My name is Amy, and I became a member in 2015. But my grandparents were founding members of this church, and so my connection and relationship with this church runs very deep. This is a congregational Christian church, and I was raised with those values. And in 2015, with the passing of my grandfather, community provided a safe place for me to mourn and grow through that experience. We are an inclusive and progressive church, and by our hope in doing this program is that you see some stories and it causes you to think that maybe this is a place that you'd like to check out. So now our story begins.
Hi, my name is Felicia Rocha. I'm a member here at Community United Church of Christ. I am 37 years old. I've been married to my husband, David, we've been together for about 20 years now. I'm a preschool teacher and a mother of two.
Hi, my name is David Rocha. I also go to Community United Church of Christ. I work here at Valley Children's Hospital, and I love my church, and I'm glad to be here. Yeah, this church has just been so loving to our family, our kids. From the first time we brought them here, we're just loved and wanted to come to this church and just love the children's program they have here. And this is the kind of church that, you move and they'll all be there to help you move your things. It's just that kind of close community that we really appreciate and really looking for. And that's what we love about this place. Yeah.
When you walk through the doors, you feel welcome, and it's not just people saying hi. It's a sense of home and community, and it's a place where I didn't feel judged, and I don't feel like anyone really feels judged here because everyone's so accepting. It doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter your sexual orientation, your economical status. You see friends here and friendships formed of all types, and I really love that. And it's special and it is unique nowadays. Sometimes that is hard to find those relationships that bridge across the gaps that we see sometimes that are so wide. I'm half Native American and half Hispanic, so I grew up Catholic with a lot of earthly and worldly type of medicine influences, so that was different growing up. Most of my churching has been through the Catholic Church, and eventually when I became adult, kind of just strayed away and did my own thing till I ended up back in the church after my kids were young.
I am originally from Puebla, Mexico, but I lived here in Fresno since I was 1.5. I'm the oldest of 9 kids, and had roots in the Catholic Church as well. Got married in a Catholic church, but found a new love in the Christian community, and felt as an adult that was more of my way of thinking. Full family, lots of responsibilities, but it made me a good father, I believe. I went to Clovis High School. I'm a cougar. My classmates would describe me as a hippie, I suppose. I was a big follower of the Grateful Dead, and in school I would wear watermelon pants and fringe things, and I was kind of lost in that 60s culture, which I'm very still in love with, but I think that's how I'd be described, just an old hippie, an old soul. Definitely, I have a circle of friends picture of me with my closest friends in the Haight-Ashbury. So
I went to McLean High, graduated class of 99. I was a raver. I had the funky colored hair and the clothes and all the funky jewelry. And so that was me. I was kind of wild, a little bit of a party girl, especially after high school ended. I went a little crazy. So they'd probably be surprised about the fact that I am even in church now. We actually met on Valentine's Day about 20 years ago. I was actually walking to the car to go on a lunch date with another man. And David appeared out of nowhere and walked up to us. And I thought he knew the other guy because he walked up to him and he shook his hand and he said, "Sorry, man, I hate to have to do this to you, but I'll never forgive myself." And then he turned and asked me out.
Yes. Yeah, that's the story.
And so then I left with him.
Yes, of course, she came with me. And yeah, we took off and it was just like, finding my best friend. We went out dancing that same night and the rest is history.
Well, we love to go out dancing. We love to go out dancing. It's always nice to have a couple drinks and, kind of shake it around town. I love to read. I love makeup. And we actually are both really big David Bowie fans, so that was one of the big draws as well.
Yes, he was a part of our wedding. He was one of his songs were our wedding song, and we have special rooms in our house that we have a David Bowie closet, which is just a regular closet that's hangs jackets. But we tell our children, "Oh, go get my jacket from the Bowie closet."
It's decorated.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a shrine, but
Yeah.
without the prayers. So.
Right. Big old tapestry of him,
Yeah.
and the kids know where to go. So he's been a big part of our lives and his music and his influence. And yeah, I like to jewelry make too. I like to macrame. It's always been a passion of mine. I really enjoy doing that, and I really just enjoy going out dancing. Dancing is just a soul fun thing for me to do, and we have a good time together. Yeah.
We actually, when we got back in church as adults, we had some dear friends that kind of nudged us to come find our own faith, explore our own way. We ended up at one of the larger, more evangelical churches here in town, and it was wonderful. We were there for a few years, but as time went on, I found myself, and I know we both did, kind of biting our tongues. Our views were a bit more progressive than what we were surrounded with, and it just became a little taxing after a while. So eventually we left, and we took about a year or two to kind of just find where we belong. And one day when I was taking my kids to school right here at Robinson next door, I saw the rainbow flag flying, and it just kind of, the light shone down on it, and I was like, wow, I really need to see what this church is about. So I talked to my husband, and we kind of looked into it, and we showed up one day.
And I was very impressed by the xeriscaping that the church had and the solar panels. I hadn't quite seen a church do that yet, and I thought that they were probably a very environmental type of church, and that really, got me excited too. Being progressive, the rainbow flag, and just the beautiful architecture, the ceramic architecture we have here. It's very artistic, and so it just definitely drew me into this church and wanted to be a part of the community.
Growing up, I always found myself fighting the good fight for those issues that were near and dear to my heart, and I have done it my whole life. Been involved with charities, doing fundraisers, and I didn't realize that there was really a word for it, a social justice church type of thing. But when I found it, it spoke to my heart, and it's exactly the way I want my kids to be brought up. I want them to have compassion for all the stuff in the world that we can help out with, or we can encourage other people to learn about, or to just get out there and do. And so it is very important to me, and I want my kids to see that.
Yeah, it's important to me too. The political aspect of the church is very strong and in many different aspects, open to LGBT community, open to just all different kinds of creative thinking. And I definitely want to expose my children to a more progressive type of thinking. I want them to be able to invite any other friends, be straight, LGBT, transgender, whatever it may be. I want them to be able to come to their church where they're going to be loving and loved and accepted. And that's one of the beautiful things I love about this church is how open they are and how welcoming they are.
My vision for our church is for it to grow and blossom and just be a light for a lot of people that maybe have shied away from the church or thought that they might not be accepted, or who have been told, you don't belong here, or, you're not welcome here, that, well, come over here because you are welcome here. And for us to be able to grow and be known throughout the community would be a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better. I completely agree with what Felicia said, and this has just been such a great place for us to grow in our faith and our family, and they have just a lot of wonderful programs here. We go up to Camp Tamarack. That's been mesmerizing to my family being up there and being able to celebrate the community and church. It's been fun.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Finding Community. We have services on Sundays at 10:30 and Thursdays at 7 p.m. And we will hope you can catch our next episode.
Seen the world